to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm London. Here are this week's stories. An Indianapolis man is charged with stealing thousands of pounds of copper wire from AT&T utility poles. Joshua Westervelt spent the entire year stealing and selling the wire around the east side of Indianapolis. Westervelt has allegedly pawned stolen copper at least 103 times this year. The 36-year-old is accused of cutting telecommunication lines from AT&T before being arrested last month. Police claim Westervelt removed or melted the black tubing and burned the wire down until only copper remained. The constant smoke and fires at the suspect's home on Olney Street resulted in several neighbors calling the fire department 16 times. Back in January, Westervelt stole a few pounds and sold them for around $2 to $20, but the price quickly rose to the thousands. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office formally charged Westervelt with 4 felonies of arson, critical infrastructure, mischief, theft, and criminal mischief.
Airbus recalls 6,000 planes after a solar flare corrupted flight control data. JetBlue Flight 1230 was flying from Cancun, Mexico to Newark, New Jersey when one of the Airbus's computers malfunctioned. The aircraft dropped 100 feet in just 7 seconds. The conditions in the passenger cabin created by the abrupt nosedive were chaotic. An airline service car struck the ceiling. Once the flight crew regained control, they immediately diverted to Tampa International Airport in Florida. At least 15 people were transported to nearby hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. The planes have now been modified with a 320 models, just needing new computers instead of a total reset.
A man from Coastville, Indiana, a suburb of Indianapolis, was arrested for running from the police in a stolen Kia Soul. 18-year-old Dylan Peach was driving the Kia that was reported stolen in Greencastle on Monday in Columbus. Officers found Peach driving on Williamsburg Way and Taylor Road when they attempted to stop the car. Peach sped up in an attempt to get away, and the police chased the car until Peach lost control of the Kia and went off the road into the field and got stuck. Police surrounded the vehicle before safely taking Peach and 2 juvenile passengers into custody. Both juveniles were released to their parents. Peach was arrested and charged with theft of a motor vehicle, resisting arrest in the vehicle, and operating a vehicle without a license.
3 brothers in San Francisco were cleaning out their late mother's attic when they found a Superman #1 comic from 1939 in a cardboard box beneath layers of dust and old newspapers. The brothers said their mother had always told them about her valuable comic book collection, but they had never seen it until they put her house up for sale. The comic is one of fewer than 500 copies still in existence from the original print of 500,000. The comic sold for $1.9 million at an auction in Texas, breaking the record for the world's most expensive comic book. The auction house, Heritage Auctions, said that since the comic was in an attic in Northern California, the cool, dry climate helped preserve it.
That's all the news we have for now.
Stay tuned for more news after the break.
Reading is everywhere, from in schools to advertisements to signs on the street. Literacy is a vital skill.
Welcome back to ACC Student News.
Here are the rest of the stories.
The son of infamous drug king El Chapo pleads guilty in a U.S. drug trafficking case. Joaquin Guzman Lopez and his brother Ovidio Guzman Lopez are accused of running a faction of the Sinaloa cartel. Federal authorities in 2023 described the operation as a massive effort to send staggering quantities of fentanyl into the U.S. Joaquin Guzman Lopez pleaded guilty to 2 counts of drug trafficking and continuing criminal enterprise. As part of the plea deal, Joaquin Guzman Lopez admitted to helping oversee the production and smuggling of large quantities of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, marijuana, fentanyl into the United States, leading to more than 10,000 overdose deaths annually.
More than 250,000 cases of shredded cheese are being recalled in 31 states, including Washington. The recall is due to potential metal fragment contamination. According to the FDA, the affected cheese products are sold under store brand labels at several retailers, including Target and Walmart. It said the cause for the recall was potential metal fragments from the supplier's raw material. It was labeled a Class 2 recall, which the FDA defines as having the potential to cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health consequences. More than 30 states have been affected by the recall, and the FDA report states that Great Lakes Cheese Co. did not issue a news release about the recall.
The New York Times accused the Pentagon in a lawsuit on Thursday of infringing on the constitutional rights of journalists by imposing a new set of rules about reporting on the military. The Times argued that the Defense Department's new policy violated the First Amendment, and it is trying to restrict journalists' ability to do what journalists have always done. The rules, which went into effect in October and are extremely different from the previous ones. They require reporters to sign a 21-page form that sets restrictions on journalistic activities, including requests for story tips and questions to Pentagon sources. Reporters who don't comply could lose their press passes.
An Indianapolis man opened fire on a woman and her dog while they were lying in bed. 55-year-old Andrew Short II is charged with 4 felonies: criminal recklessness, strangulation, animal cruelty, killing a domestic animal, and then domestic battery as a misdemeanor. The victim arrived at Community North Hospital with a gunshot wound to her arm. She told police investigators that Short inflicted the wound, claiming he opened fire on her and her dog with a revolver. According to the victim, she had been lying in her bed with her dog when Short, who was angry, walked into the bedroom with a gun in hand and opened fire. Short reportedly carried the dead dog out into the backyard before the victim convinced Short to drive her to the hospital. Police officers went to the house where the shooting occurred. Inside, they reportedly found large amounts of blood throughout the house left by Short as he carried the dead dog to the backyard. The revolver was also found on the nightstand. If convicted, Short faces up to 6 years in prison on a level 5 felony. That's all the news we have for this week. I'm Saz.
And I'm Brianna. Make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube.
And follow us on Instagram at ACCtv Hammond.